What up, boys and girls, men and women? We are back, episode 10. This is good. The Rodeo talk. It's been a week since we've talked, brother. Life is good, and we've just been talking for what is it, half an hour, and decided to push and decide to record this call now. So let's just dive straight into it. I don't really have anything planned, but I do have something, but I'm not really going to, yeah, like a crazy agenda. So first of all, brother, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, my man. Yeah, we're back once more, once again. You guys always know we turn up, and today we actually don't have a massive agenda plan, but we did talk for something, talk about something the last 30 minutes that we probably will continue talking about. As Mikkel
Yeah,
said, we just thought, okay, we got to record as well, so we might as well get into it. But yeah, it's been a great
absolutely.
week, man. It's been a really progressive week. It's been a great week. Business win for me this week is finalizing a new team member. So we are running a new lead gen system, and it's actually flowing very well. We're hitting some KPIs and treating it a lot more systemized, and which is really, really, really good. Moving into a lot more systems and actually detaching myself a lot more from that process, which is really cool. Personal win, I saw a 918 Spider, a Porsche today, which was
That's good.
absolutely insane. Yeah. Vision board material, one of only 918 cars. We were at a car event. Big shout out to Sam for the invite. So that was sick, man. That was really cool. And just, again, we're not in here for the supercars and the hypercars and the hybrid hypercars, but it's just cool to walk around between like literally tens and tens of millions of dollars and
Yeah,
just be inspired and speak with these people about how they got to where they were and meeting them and how they were actually just genuine normal people. It just leaves you inspired. A lot of people will maybe look at them with the mindset of, oh, they must have been criminals or been really bad people, and that's a very
yeah,
unfortunate mindset. If you have that mindset, you probably aren't even listening to this podcast because you're growth orientated. When we meet people like this, brother, like, we are curious, we are inspired, and that's what I felt today at the event. So no, it's been a really good
that's
week,
good.
man, and looking forward to getting into this conversation today. How have you
Yeah,
been?
absolutely. Oh, I've been doing really good. Business as usual. Didn't see Porsche 918, but yeah, I've had a good time building the business. I'm currently building into my new offers. Right now, I have an agency who helps coaches scale the business for them. I'm also kind of building a new structure in the business, so it's more like done with you consulting. So that's pretty awesome because I figured out, now I've been in the game for more than 2 years, scaling, building businesses, five, six, or even seven figures, for clients. I can also just teach them and tell them exactly how to do things. So I figured out, okay, my ultimate goal with this is to help 1 billion people change their life, not directly, but by helping coaches scale the business so they can help more people. So I figured out, okay, if I can speak to more people about how they can scale their business, they can also help more people.
Hmm.
So yeah, my goal is to help 1 billion people change their lives.
That's a
That's
sick goal,
what
man.
what is it? Like 10, 15% of the entire world, something like that.
Yeah, around
Yeah.
there.
So that's my goal. When I get to 1 billion, when I do that, because I know I will, my goal is 2 billion, and when that's when that's completed, my next goal is 5 billion. So
There you
kind of
go.
scaling, yeah. And we want to change the world, so that's why we're also here today with this podcast. Other than that, yeah, have a good time with clients. Yeah, have a client who just sold their first high ticket offer, so that's pretty good. That was $17,000. So that's really good.
Sick. Big win.
So yeah, life is good, but most importantly, he gets a chance to help a lot of people. So that was really really nice. And yeah, what else have I been doing? A lot of training. I figured out that, damn, I actually need to. to optimize my game when it comes to my health.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I need to get to the next level. Like cut the shit, stop the excuses, get that six pack, and shut the fuck up and do the work. So that's what I'm doing. So it's good because we can all be better. So that's why we're here. Also, you, Max. Also, me.
A
We're here
hundred
to be
percent.
better and discover some great topics. But I think this topic for this call is
Yeah,
also
introduce it.
very important to us. Yeah, yeah, because as you already know, we've been talking for like half an hour about sales and how we ended up here on this podcast. And we the conversation took like a big turn. Okay, we had a very good sales trainer, a coach who helps us. We're truly grateful for that.
Yes.
But we also figured out that okay, the key to success is not it's probably not to find the best in the entire game, but it's more like finding the best for you because we're all different. We all have different styles, preferences, and needs, and there are different coaches based on your needs. So I think this is going to be a very interesting topic because Max, I want to hear also your story because we have a very good sales trainer in terms of results. He's accomplished like crazy stuff. He's already, yeah, probably a multi-millionaire, one of the best in Denmark. So he's really good. But let me also hear more about your experience and what you think about finding a mentor because I think we can both agree, Max, that if you want to achieve a goal and you don't know how to do it yourself, you need to
Hmm.
find someone. You need something in your life that can help you do that.
Hmm.
You need some input, some knowledge that you can take action on, and turn that idea into like some materialistic thing or physical equivalent. So, Max, yeah, well, what is your opinion and experience when finding a mentor or something like that?
Yeah, it's a great question. I believe we touched on this in a previous episode, but it's obviously a topic we come back to a lot because we are in this space. I think your description of about what we do is very valid. I work in the similar space. I think the best way to describe what we do is we are the engine room behind the growth trajectory of these brands of self improvement, mindset, fitness, sales, personal
Yeah,
investment, finance, a lot of different coaches, consultants, mentors. So yeah, our obviously ambition is to grow these people, and to grow these people, you need to understand the space. And we have both been coached for as long as we've been in the space because we understand that that's not just a tool for our growth, but it's also a tool for the growth of our clients, which are in the same space. And typically, I've been coached by clients before, and people that has been my coaches has become clients. So my experience has been really really good. I think coaching got me into the space I'm working in now, just like it did with you and your story. I ran into my first coach when I was, well, could you really even say coach? The first experience I had of a coach was probably like people on my football team, and when
yeah,
I was growing up, I think that's the first real coach you kind of have. And it's a similar type of thing we have with our current coaches in different aspects of life. But the first real coach I had in this space of digital wealth creation and the stuff we work with was when I was about 16, 17. I was falling very, very interested into the world of digital wealth creation. Actually, a Danish guy, not the one you were talking about that actually brought us together, but a
yeah,
different guy who was blowing up on a term called SMMA, which
yeah.
was social media marketing agency. Now, there's so many different terms for that, and it's still something we do. It's just always different terms for it. But my experience was that in the beginning, I was just looking at coaches that had stuff, and I wanted that stuff. So I thought that's a perfect coach for me. But then I moved into more of the mindset of how is this coach going about getting that stuff, be it whatever success they define, and how are they actually living their day to day lives? Would I be happy running my business how they're running theirs in terms of how they're working with clients? What's their um, conversion rates? What's their upsell rates? What's their like average lifetime for a customer. These things we were talking about before. And then you get a better grasp of when you're in this space now and you understand that it's not as easy as you thought, and that Lambo
Yeah,
is not going to come in 6 months. And whatever your success or dream might be, for me, it was also supporting my family because of different reasons. But you just realize that it's so much more than someone just giving you information. It's someone you're investing into actually voting towards having
yeah,
partly your life reflecting theirs, because they are going to tell you or show you how you did things, how you should do things based on how they've achieved them. And that's going to somewhat lead to the path they're down as well. It's not a one to one thing, but yeah, I've had different coaches. Now I have some coaches I've had for some time, but constantly also gaining new perspectives, not only to gain new skills, but also to understand different ways of going about your life in this space, getting inspired by people who do it differently in the way they service their clients, in the way they make their living, or how
yeah,
they live their life, to get a grasp of, is that a bit of me or is it not a bit of me? So very vaguely put, I think it all comes down to where do you want to go and how do you want to achieve it, and look for someone that reflects that in the highest way possible.
yeah. So Max, yeah, I think you're right about that. It's not about what they have achieved, but it's also more importantly how they actually achieved and how they're living the life that you also want to live. So because it's not only just about the results, we can all get good at something, but it's also the process. Like the key here is like the journey. It's not just like the end result. Let's just take the sales training for example. It's not just about being good at sales. That yes, that's nice, but I think it's more about how you're going to get good at sales, because sales is basically communication and yeah, shifting mindset beliefs of a prospect, so they feel like, okay, I can actually achieve this, and this is my own idea. This person is just going to help me do this,
Hmm.
and I'm super thankful that he can help me achieve
Hmm.
this. That's I think that's what sales is.
Hmm.
But it's not as I think we all have different styles how we communicate. We're all different. So the best thing I think you can do, from my example, is that find someone who is reflecting who you are as a person. If you like the values they have, their vision, how they speak, yeah, how they act, what they're doing with their business, where they're going with their business and their own life, I think it's a very close shot to be like the perfect solution for you.
Hmm.
Because the worst thing in my case is that I had a sales trainer, and yes, he was very good at sales, and he did it exactly what he was supposed to do, selling in his own way,
Yeah.
in his own. It was not really my style, and thought that okay, whenever I had a sales call, I was just trying to like push something down their throat and really try to convince them that this is the perfect product for them, and they're just having their guards up and say yes, that's fine, but
Well, it seemed inauthentic, right? Because you were trying to
yeah,
adapt his exact sales style, and sales is so individual the way you go about it. And I had the same experience with another sales trainer actually, where he had a certain style, and I got sold by him, and I thought it was very effective. But then when I applied it myself, it just felt inauthentic, and the people I was speaking with could really tell. I wasn't genuinely invested in the conversation. I was just trying to apply a framework, and that's a big red flag when it comes to sales. I know the way that we now approach the conversations we're having, also because we have the experience we have, is a lot more laid back, and it's easier for us to come across abundant in an authentic way than it was when we got started. So
yeah,
I always hear this a lot. One thing specifically is, how can I sell like you? And this is a conversation I've had with people I'm not a coach myself, but I've had conversations with people in my network, had some sessions with them to get them started with their online businesses. But they were very, very concerned about how they can't not feel like an imposter and get that imposter syndrome, because they don't actually know if their services has any value yet. And at this other side, I'm maybe telling them to be more laid back. But I remember myself, it was very difficult to be laid back in the beginning because I was very not as sure about the value I was delivering. So how do you solve that issue? Do you go out there and try to work for someone for free? Do you just develop your skills into you also need to develop your communication?
Yeah,
It's an issue I hear a lot. But you got to
yeah.
believe in yourself to some extent. Maybe some training and the skills, and then being honest with someone about, hey, I'm going to give you a smaller retainer, but I have learned X, Y, Z. How do you approach this?
Uh, Two things. I think first of all, let's just take the sales as the first example.
Mm,
I think the best thing you can do is really understand who you are as a person, like deep down. Not only your name and where you're from, but like deep down, who am I, and who would I like to become? Like, so when I look back, okay, and see, okay, this is the person I am. I'm super grateful. This is like my dream state, and like becoming that walking billboard of human excellence in your own way. I think that that is super important to understand who you are as a person, how you can help people, and also what specifically you're doing. But I think, as we also talked about, Max, of course, understand who you are. That's what I would do, and then I would get experience. And this is probably also quite controversial because I don't really believe in like working for free because there's nothing free. And I always think that you should be compensated in some way.
yeah,
But if it's your
agreed.
first job, let's say that you get to work with amazing people. I have a client right now, amazing guy, and yeah, he didn't pay me at first. I want experience. I want to build a connection. So if you can see the long term and say, okay, I'm not really where I want to be in terms of delivering a service or developing a product, just be able to work for free, get experience, get feedback. It is never your first client that is going to be worth $1 million. I think that's pretty true. It's never your first client that is going to be worth your first $1 million, but your last client can be worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
But how do you get to that? I think experience is really good. Experience also comes with confidence. So if you know that you're really good, Max, you have very good confidence when I speak to you about your service. Same do I, because we know
Hmm.
what we're doing works. We're changing lives, and I think get experience. You can be very smart though if you want to start an online business. You want to work for free, so there's not really that much risk on your client. Everything is on your side. You can start working for free and get paid once they have seen results. That's a good way to get started because it motivates you to get really good. And they also know, okay, if you have provided value to me, I can also pay you, or you can get a percentage of the sales you make. That's also how it is with high ticket sales, appointment setting. They get a percentage. Like even a real estate agent, they get a percentage of the sale
Yes.
they make. So it's a legit business model to get a percentage of the
Commission based.
value that you, yes, commission based, get a percentage of the value that you provide. So that's probably what I would do if I had to start all over. Spend the first year just understanding that I'm not here to make $1 million the first year, but I'm here to get really good at what I'm doing. Because if I do that, I can get clients easier. I know exactly how to frame everything in my business,
Hmm.
exactly as I am right now. So if I'm speaking to one of you guys who are listening to this and you say, okay, I really want to grow a business or get more clients, I probably know how to do that because I have experience. I have done things the past 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, that have made me a lot of patterns. So now my client made 100,000 Danish kroner in a day. I didn't know how to do that when I started out, but now I understand the pattern that led me there. So I think confidence is everything in sales as well. It's not about saying fancy words. It's not about trying to push something down the throat. It's about confidence in a good way. Know that if you feel like you truly can help them, Max. Max,
Hmm.
if you truly could help me
Yes,
build my business, it would be a disgrace not to help me.
exactly.
Super disrespectful to me and the people that you actually can help if you don't say that you actually can help them.
Completely agreed. Completely agreed. And that's the different approach to sales that you need to apply. Is that a good exercise I usually had was I would go into sales as an advisor rather than a salesperson and a salesman. I would look at their business for what it was, and I would treat it like it was my own, and I would make advising statements and questions, just like I was sitting there like a therapist or a doctor trying to diagnose a problem. And if I know as a doctor that this is the pill, the solution to that problem, what doctor would I be not to prescribe that medicine to you? It would be unethical in some way.
Yeah,
And that's where you can turn the advising into sales, but again, with not too needy of an approach by saying, oh, then you need this, you need this, you need this. I think a lot. I like what you said about experience. Actually, I think that's really important. You definitely need to go out there and gain some experience and be confident in what you're delivering as a service, and then it will
yeah,
come across a lot more authentic. People love to see examples of what you've done for people in a similar situation. So if you can help one person with one problem, you can help a million people with the same problem. And you can just
exactly.
copy paste that, obviously tailored a bit for them and who they are and their specific needs. But if you can help one person get a six pack, you can help a million people get a six pack if you're a
Yeah,
fitness mentor.
totally, totally. And I think a lot of people, they're afraid of selling. They think, okay, I'm a crook, I'm a scammer if I sell. You
Snaky
sell every
salesman.
single day. You sell your opinions. You say, okay, I want a glass of water, as I have right here. That's basically you're selling your idea that you want a glass of water. If you have kids and you want them to go outside and they don't want to go outside, you have to sell the idea of going outside in the sun and have a good time with you.
You have done this before, right?
I
You
have
were.
I have
I know
been
where you were working.
yeah.
You have done this.
That's a funny story. That's a really funny story. I was working in the kindergarten, as some of you guys know, and one day it was like -10 degrees outside, snow everywhere, like really cold. And of course, the kids were inside. They have a good time creating like caves out of blankets. Just a really, really cozy place. And then, of course, we had to go outside. It was about that time. So to break it to you guys, I know this sounds super. I know you're gonna hate me for this, and you probably want to like run me over with your tractor, or you hate me for this, and I know you have so much fun, but we really need to go outside. And this sounds good, but this is also really nice with the blankets, and we don't want to go outside, Mikkel. I totally understand because you have so much fun here, right? Yeah, but actually, if you go outside, we can build like a snow cave, much bigger. We can have fun. We can sleep in it if we want to. That's also pretty cool. But it's not going to be cold because we have protection in this cave here. That's pretty cool. It's never been done before, so you guys will be remembered for a long time. How does that sound? That was pretty awesome. And we went outside, and you know, in the kindergarten, working in the kindergarten, you probably become like one of the best at the objection handling. Like you get some crazy objections. Like
And you get people that
sometimes,
want kids that want to throw like rocks at you, right?
yes, absolutely. Like if you say like, can you please be quiet just a little bit so I can actually hear something for the rest of my life? You're too loud right now. And no, but I can throw a rock in your face. I would be pretty tired of that. So you get a lot of crazy objections. Also, if we need to go outside and it's raining, you gotta take your boots on. You can't just put like slippers on. You're gonna get sick. Uh, it was the worst idea that I pitched right there. And but we always find a way to do things in a good way, of course. So we get to pitch things so they feel like it's their own idea, and having very good waterproof boots on is a good idea if you want to go outside and have fun. So I think working in the kindergarten, this is also pretty underrated. Like you get used to a lot of crazy situations. Kids are crazy. They say crazy
Your
things.
stress tolerance will also go up, I think.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like
That's why you're so calm, bro. Because you can just be zen when everything's chaos around you, and just
oh
sip your
yeah,
coffee.
yeah. I think did I actually, bro? Did I tell you about the rainy day? I think it was a Friday, like 2 p.m. Like there was 2 hours till we closed down in the
Hmm.
kindergarten, and
Hmm.
it started really raining, and it was in February, I guess.
Cold month in Denmark.
Yeah,
Cold.
and the wires and yeah, the pipes with water was like frozen and started to like get a little bit warmer due to the weather, but they exploded. So like there was just pouring down rain from and water from the ceiling, and we had 2 hours till we closed, and there was like water everywhere. So it's pretty intense, and with kids like flying all over the place,
Oh,
water, electricity, like lights, it could go pretty wrong, and just kids everywhere screaming. So it was a good, good Friday afternoon in the kindergarten. Very exciting. So yeah, you get used to a lot of good stuff, and just stay calm. Like, okay, I feel shit, but who the fuck cares? We just got to get moving
I
and have
like that,
fun. I
coach,
think,
because you were so effective. Like you were one of the most effective people there. I know there was some very seasoned pedagogues that were very calm and knew exactly how to speak to the young ones to make them obey. But
yeah,
I think that's an important lesson that whatever you are doing right now in your life, whoever is listening, be the best at it. Like,
yes,
there's no point of going 50% into it. I was selling paint and I knew everything about the paint. I was professional. I said hello to everyone. I understood their vibe when they walked in the door. Am I going to have a high inflicting tonality or a low inflicting tonality? Or
yeah,
who am I meeting here? Have they just finished work? Is it a weekend? Is it like a mother coming in wanting to pick the color for like her wall? How do I handle the husband that just wants to get out of there? Like I was running it, and my colleagues would be sitting in the they'd be sitting in the lunch lounge, and I was the first one that got up when the bell rang and someone came in the door. I was just up on my feet, first one. I was out there. I was so eager to learn because I'm there anyway, selling paint. And now I have
yeah,
two options when the doorbell rings. Am I going to be the one that goes and greets the customer and tries to do my best or learns? I'm going to be the one that sits on my ass and probably just on my phone or eating some cake or drinking coffee. Like I was up there. I was eager to make this person give them as much value as possible, help them choose the best color, give them the best experience, because that was what it was all about. And I wanted to be the best at it. And that's everything I've ever done, either be competitive or wanting to be the best possibly in all the jobs I've made.
yeah,
I think it's an important lesson that people really understand that how you do one thing is how you will do everything. If you want to transition into being self employed or working in a company with someone digitally or whatever, being a mentor or a coach, look at how you're tackling your current situation, your approach to your six pack, your approach to your current work. Because if you don't start changing that, nothing's going to change when you work on something different. It's not magically going to
exactly,
be like a new way of approaching it. And actually
exactly.
unlocking that will actually allow you to transition anyway. How do you think about
Yeah,
that? Because I know you're very invested in like your
I,
health, of
I
course.
Yeah, I like the idea of how you do one thing is how you do everything, because that's so true. That is so true. And I think for me, starting out with building my physique, it taught me a lot about discipline, consistency, planning. You also need to plan your meals, because if you don't plan, you are basically planning to fail, and you end up in situation where you're not prepared, which means that it's your subconscious mind that takes over. You take actions that are not good for you, but you're tempted, because that's who we are as humans. We get tempted, but if we plan and say, okay, how can we avoid this? It's easier to avoid the dragon than basically slay it, which means that if you're trying to get a six pack, instead of trying to avoid all the candy, fast food, soda, all the nice greasy food with a lot of calories, it's so much easier to just get rid of them, and yeah, throw them in the trash can. If you don't like to just waste food, just give it to like a homeless shelter. You don't need that cake. Just put it out of the house, and it's not even a question anymore. And I think that taught me a lot about business, especially when it comes to focus. Just remove everything that could distract you. Remove it. I don't have my phone. Like I can't reach my phone. I can't see my phone when I'm working. I only have my computer, and I only respond to messages like certain times of the day.
Hmm.
Everything else, I don't care. And I think if you're stuck in life and really don't know where to go, and okay, how can I do anything? How can I be a millionaire? Whatever you want to, start build your body, like work out, get in shape. People
Hmm.
also treat you differently. I've experienced that. So
100%.
a game changer to really for me to get in shape.
It
Not
never
only
hurts to
because
get in shape.
I feel good, I feel better, I feel more energized, I look more representable. People automatically think, okay, he's having a six pack, but it's not about the six pack. It's about the discipline. That okay, he's disciplined.
He can
He's
take care of
probably
himself, so he can take care of
yeah,
my business. Like if you're meeting someone
exactly.
personally, if I meet someone and they
But I
are
think
obese, I can't trust them with my business. I can't trust them with my biggest goals if they can't.
not really, not really. Maybe you can, but it's just like okay, but if you're that overweight and can't take care of yourself, what else is going to slip? Because you just start questioning it, and there's just evidence. Like you are performing better when you are in shape than if you're not in shape.
Mhm.
If you're overweight, it's just a fact. So we can argue back and forth, like, okay, what is the right or wrong? Be exactly who you want to be. I can just say that if you're in shape and take care of your health, you're basically at the top of your game. Like you're more capable of doing things. But I think before we go into this, I think, bro, as Albert Einstein has said when he lived, I'm not a genius. I'm just curious, and I think curiosity is the key to success. Like, okay, what's in this book right here? Think and Grow Rich. Like, amazing book. You should read it like as soon as possible. Like, it's a non-negotiable. Read it. Order it right now. Read it within a week. Or if you don't, your give $10,000 away to the people that you don't like. You have to read this. It's a game changer. But anyways, start with curiosity. Okay, how can I do this? If you see like a guy who's driving a Porsche 918, instead of thinking, okay, he must be rich or he must be doing something illegal, no, frame and just ask a better question. What actions did you take to get where you are right now? What is your journey? How did you do this? How did you approach this? What did you do when you were in trouble? It's not about being rich. Maybe he comes from a rich family. Who cares? But he still has to take care of himself. So, but just ask better questions and you get better answers. Just if you just said, he must be rich, or he's just a crook or a criminal, you
Oh,
just
he
giving up.
inherited it. Like, so
Yeah,
people will just find any possible reason to avoid the fact of actually having an opportunity to actually learn something and level up completely.
yeah, absolutely. Just because then you're just throwing away your own responsibility. Just
Hmm.
saying that, okay, he was born that way, or he was a criminal, like he scams people. Like, okay, cool. Now the conversation's already ended right there. You didn't get any value from it. Approached the guy and said, massive car, I'll show some respect. That I can only imagine the stress, the sacrifices, and the hard work that you have put in to achieve this car. What is your journey? Boom. He says, yeah, of course. It takes a lot of hard work, and tells you,
Hey,
I
I'm in
did
my
this, and
20s.
this.
I have this idea. What do you think? Or what would be your best piece of advice? I really like what I'm seeing. I have massive respect. Like, if you come up to someone like that and you have the confidence and that flare in your eye, they will go out of their way to help you and give you some advice. I have experienced it time and time again. Why would I not? There's literally a car in front of me that is being auctioned off for $2.5 million. There's 918 of these cars in the world, and I'm gonna just say that, oh, nice car, probably did something criminal. Like, I remember very, very vividly. I was walking down the street. This is another story about this, and I was walking down the street with some of my old classmates, and we would see cars drive by, and we would all stand there and look. Like, first time I've ever seen a Ferrari in my life, red Ferrari, right? And some of the boys would be like, "Oh, that's so cool," and we were walking there with our school bags, and yeah, and you know, and I was like, "What do you guys actually think?" And they were like, "Oh, I don't know. He probably does something a bit illegally or something like that." And I had a completely different attitude towards it. I was very curious, as you say. I think curiosity is so important to fuel growth. I am so curious to be the best and understand and learn. But secondly, I was like a bit not pissed or angry, but I was like, he knows something that I don't know, and I want to find
Yeah.
out.
I
And
think it, bro. It's okay if it pisses you off, but it has to be in a way that, okay, what is it that this guy knows that I don't?
he knows
Maybe,
something. He's
and
in a Ferrari,
I
and we're
think
walking in the rain.
probably, I think there are different options. If you see a guy that has a Ferrari or Lamborghini or anything that you want but you don't have yet, I think there's a few options to it. Either he has done something differently that you haven't done, or maybe you guys have done the exact same thing, but this guy have just done it 20 years longer than you have. Maybe you're in your first year. This guy has have just had his, like, what is it called, like 30 years of experience.
Mhm,
So maybe you just need more time doing the right thing, because the right actions multiplied with time really compounds everlasting and great success.
mhm,
So just do the right thing over and over again, and just let time compound, and let it compound over time.
mhm,
I think that's truly amazing.
mhm.
And I think,
Good lesson.
like, my turning point when it comes to where I am today, when I started being more curious, like pick up a book, not just because I had to in school, but actually buy books. And I have an unlimited budget for self education, books, courses, mentors. I don't have a budget for that, because, like, reading a book is life changing. Of course, you can get knowledge from everywhere, and book is probably not the fastest way, but it's just a way of life. You pick up a book, you're detached from the world, just diving into the book, and
Mhm,
you're reading something that a massive successful person have experienced and have put down into, like, a playbook, which
mhm.
a book actually is. A book is basically also just like a course. You just buy it physically.
Yeah.
So basically, just read more from the right people. you are just the average person of the five people that you allow to influence you. So if you're getting influenced by the people you look up to and you want to be like, probably the guy with a red Ferrari, if you let him influence you, you can also achieve exactly what he has right now. So I think, yeah, we can go on forever, bro.
We can.
But I want to ask you a question. I think this is pretty dope to for people to hear. Is yeah, what are you actually looking for in a mentor?
Great question. I think it comes back to some of the stuff we've touched on previously. To sum it up, when I look for a mentor, I'm looking at how they are doing what they are doing more than what they are telling me they are doing. Because it's very easy when you're looking for, especially your first mentor, to be very focused and a bit gullible towards the outcome, rather than the input.
Yeah,
And I'm looking far more now in a mentor at what's their input, how are they actually going about their life, their business, their balance. Is that something that I envision for myself? I think it's very important that a mentor is just like a few steps ahead of you. I'm not looking for a mentor that's 10 steps ahead of me. That doesn't make sense because I got to take 5 steps before I can take 10 steps, right? That's halfway to 10.
yeah,
So it's a lot easier to work with someone and be influenced by someone that is just a little bit ahead of you and knows that little bit more and knows how to take the business from 15, 20K to at the moment aiming for 30, 40K on an
yeah.
agency level, or
No,
it's not someone that's doing 100K on an agency level. That wouldn't make sense because they are already at that level that maybe I'm not at. So
yeah,
it's an important thing to realize that don't be mentored. If you're getting started, don't be mentored by someone that just sold the software for 400 million and they are revving that and they've got like 6 million followers on Instagram. Like, don't do that. If you're just getting started, work with someone like us. Work with someone like
exactly.
in between where we are and where you are, obviously, depending on where you are in your industry and what you want to work with, of course, but don't look at the industry leaders. They
And
will overcharge you
yes,
and underdeliver in comparison to what you're actually looking to get because they can only teach you the last period of where they've been. They can't teach you all the way back to where you are. Like we can't teach
why do you think they can't?
because they've become so detached from that in some way. That's
Yeah,
like they're like at their 8.0 version of themselves and they're trying to teach someone to go from 1.0 to 3.0. They're better at teaching someone to go from 6.0 to 8.0 now. Like those last two steps, it's a closer proximity. It's easier to make a roadmap from A to B than it is from A to D. I mean, it's just distance and it's easier to explain in more detail. Let's imagine that you are trying to write out a map on how to get from A to B and try to write out a map from how to get from A to D. And you can only make the map so big. And obviously, you can make the map from A to B a lot more detailed than the map from A to D, because from the map from A to D, you have to bypass some very very pivotal corners and some instructions to make that entire map. Whereas if you have a very detailed map of A to B, you can drive that perfectly and a lot
yeah.
more efficiently
It's
than
like
making those big leaps.
yeah, I hear you. I think it's like asking Elon Musk, and okay, how do I get my first client? Elon Musk is obviously one of the greatest when it comes to business. He's one of the richest in the entire world, so obviously, if not the richest, so
Mm.
obviously he knows a thing or two about business, probably a lot more than all of, yeah, like 1,000 times more than I do, if not more. So if I had to get my first client or start a business, I wouldn't, yeah, pick up Elon Musk. I can't because he don't care about that. But if I had the opportunity to go either with Elon Musk as my mentor or like a guy who's making $25,000 a month. I would take the guy making $25,000 a month because Elon is living a life that are super far away from that first client or that first business, which means that if he had to teach someone doing that, he's going to live a double life. He's going to
Hmm.
teach something that he's not actively doing, which means that he probably also is outdated with the strategies that got him there in the first place because it's so long time ago. He is at the highest level, which means that the way he communicates is probably too complex and too
Hmm.
complicated for you to understand the patterns
Completely.
because you're not that guy yet. So Elon is right now trying to rule a country and make sure that the United States is on point. How that is going, it's up to you to decide. But he's on to much bigger things than starting the first business. So I think find someone who are like a little bit in front of you, not only financially. A lot of people only look at, okay, I want to
Not
make
just finance.
I'm making $10,000. I want to get to $50,000. I need to find someone who's making $50,000. You can also find a mentor who's making less money than you, but they need to be in front of you in some way. My own mentor has also mentees like me who's making more than $100,000 every single month, which is more than he does right now, my mentor. But they still like the way he speaks, the way he acts, the way he does things, the way he runs his business, his philosophy, and that's
Hmm.
what they buy into. So it's not
Yes.
only like financially, but it's also like the way of life you can buy into. So, and I have clients who are making 10 times more than me. I don't have a seven figure business, but they have a seven figure business. Why do they choose me? Because I run things I run things in a way that they truly like and they resonate with, like the holistic, we're going to provide value, simple team, like focus on profit, not just revenue. That's my philosophy. They like that. But they're making more money than me, so why should they
Hmm.
actually listen to me? Because I've done things in a way that they absolutely love. And
Completely.
so brother, to run this off, I think find someone who are living the life that you want to and have done it in a way that you absolutely love. Not only financially, you don't just like the money, but how they did it, how they speak, how they feel, the values, the vision, how they help, and also they figuring out, okay, who do I want to be? What do I want to be known for? And go after that. And I
Yes,
think
I
that
completely
that's my
agree.
best advice.
And to round it off, it is not a case of you having to work with someone specifically that brands themselves as a coach or mentor. We're not trying to over promote that space in that sense. I mean, simply, it's also a case of is there an employee at where you're working at that does very well? Imitate him, speak with him, eat lunch with him, become friends with him, be closer with him. Like the reason I'm so close with you, brother, is because you have traits that I admire and appreciate and want to adapt. I want to be a product
And
of what you stand
likewise,
for, and you want to be a product of what I stand for as well.
exactly. I can learn from you in so many ways. Like I don't, I have a six pack, but I'm not really good at running. Like I suck at it, and you're obviously extremely good at running. So yeah, find people who can help you in some way, but not it just in a way that okay, everything and all I do is going to benefit
No, no,
me.
of
They
course not.
provide and take from people, learn from them. If you truly want to learn from someone, like just buy them a lunch. Say, okay, let's go out. I'll pay for the lunch to learn from you. You're obviously really good.
And you don't even need to frame it like that. But that's obviously the simple way of us explaining it. Just be around the people, look for them. Don't wait for them to dump up on your feed. Go out and participate in those forums. If I want to be great at chess, the first place I will go is down to the chess club in Copenhagen or something like that when I'm in Copenhagen, right? Like it's very simple. I'm not gonna just say, okay, I want to be good at chess, but there's no chess coaches, so I guess I'm not going to be good at chess. Like, no, I will go and look for them. I will go and find
Yeah,
them. So, yeah, it's a great way to round it
absolutely.
off. We could continue about this forever and forever.
Yeah.
I think it's about time we wrap up.
Yes, sir.
Obviously,
So yeah. Definitely, like time flies. We always agree to like 30 minutes, but we always go over time. So
But before
I
we
think
go,
that's,
for the people in the back as well, where can they find more about you, bro?
oh, me. Well, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Mikkel Winslow. Just as you can see here on the screen. Yeah, Mikkel Winslow. And yeah, Instagram is basically for coaches, helping them scale. Same for YouTube. LinkedIn is more like personal development. Then we have the podcast, the Rodeo Talk, which you can find on Spotify and YouTube, where we have all the episodes and all the future episodes will be there. And there's definitely something that you can learn from them. So that's really good. What about you, bro? Where can they find you if they want to learn more about being a freaking Iron Man,
Yeah.
like unstoppable?
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna start documenting a lot more about what I do around the business as well, because it's not only how I run the business that people are interested in and how I make money online. It's also the life I live around it. So yeah, Instagram the same for me. Max Rooney underscore underscore. Haven't got the Max Rooney clean one yet. Probably will cop that at some
Yeah,
point to make it official. But
good.
Max Rooney on YouTube as well. Yeah, got some resources there. Got some vlogs. Got some how-to videos, got some raw kind of talk about how I do exactly what I do. And yeah, obviously the rodeo talk. We're gonna keep on pumping out these episodes. We'll be here every single Sunday, and you can rely on us having a conversation about that. Yeah, we will get some more guests on. We got a lot of people lined up, trying to match a few schedules. Anyone in specific you want to tease, or shall we just leave them with their imagination here?
Oh, let's. I think the next guest we're going to have on, when that will be. It should have been today, by the way, but busy schedule, traveling around the world.
Busy, yeah.
So it's just about making it happen. So stay tuned. It's going to be life changing, I can say. That person have changed so many people's lives. He's not just a normal life coach. He's one of the greatest. So stay tuned, like elite high level. So if you truly want to change your life, you have to listen to that and stay tuned for that. But it's going to be an absolute banger. Until then, like, chase your dream, chase your rodeo, stay focused. And if it's a bumpy road, like, buy a fucking helmet and keep going, because life is a bumpy road. And
Get
yeah,
back on
so
it.
absolutely take care, and yeah, just keep up the good work.
See you guys.